just became a member and she's jumping right into it. That's awesome. Title of her speech is Life is Not a Dress Rehearsal. You have only one shot. Give it up for Hayley.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I'd like to ask a question. How many of you here have felt that you've ever been trapped in a very unhappy or frustrating situation? Well, I can relate. I was in one for nearly 20 years. Until one day a girlfriend said something to me over coffee. She said, Hayley, life is not a dress rehearsal. You only have one shot at this. She would never know how a profound effect that simple quote would have not only on my life, but my son's life and future as well. If you met me 3 years ago, you probably thought I had it all. In fact, you probably would have thought I was a very happy person. But the truth is, I was living a lie, not only to my friends and to my family, but to myself. You see, I need to take you back for you to understand this statement. 20 years ago, I was going through a very messy divorce. I was fighting for the one thing I had to have. It was not money, and it was not child support. It was sole custody of my 3-year-old son, Colby. I was in the fight for my life, and I was not going to let anything or anyone deter me from seeing it through. So after nearly a year of countless testimonies from experts on my behalf and tens of thousands of dollars, I finally won that fight and was awarded sole custody of him. You know, it's amazing how someone who's never had to fight for anything in her life can find the inner strength to do so. Some may call it pride, ego, but I call it maternal instinct. And trust me when I say, there is nothing like a mother on a mission to protect her offspring. I began a new chapter. I met someone, we married, and we relocated to Palm Beach, Florida for new life. I was offered by my husband the opportunity to run a company. Bargain was I had to take on the responsibility of sole sales for African tradition wines. This was going to be a challenge. I had never been employed in sales, and to make matters more challenging, I don't drink wine. So after a few phone calls and a few sales under my belt, it was quite obvious that I had discovered I had a talent I never knew existed. Not only was I good in sales and could get them done, but I would get them done in such a small amount of time that I could devote the rest of my time raising and the upbringing of my son Colby. Life seemed good from the outside, but isn't that often usually the case? We assume that people who have a lot of money, fancy cars, beautiful home on the water, they must have it all. My friends, and even my parents, were convinced I was living a lie. But unfortunately, I lost the most priceless thing along the way. I lost myself. The truth is, deep down inside, I was, and I still am, that very naive, young 7-year-old girl from divorced parents growing up in South Jersey. My mother was on food stamps. She worked 2 jobs to provide a home for my brother and I was still that young girl. As I drove home that afternoon, having coffee with my friend, I cried the entire way. Luckily, I realized that I can no longer live a lie. I flew the next day to a town I had never been to, Casper, Wyoming. I had a client that needed me to come out, spend some time with him, and do a wine tasting. So I did. I fell in love with the town of Casper, Wyoming. Got on the plane and arrived home to Palm Beach, and I sat my son down. I said to Colby, I need a simple life. I need to make a change. I'm going to file for divorce, and I'm going to leave all the possessions behind, along with all the money. But there's one catch. I need him, you, to take this journey with me. And at first I know my son said to himself, oh, hell no. But I have a son that not only trusts his mother, but he will do anything she asks of him. And so we did. We rented a small little town home in Casper. We drove across the country, and the night we arrived, there was a foot of snow on the ground and below 0 temperature. This was a culture shock. In fact, that was an understatement. There were no amenities that we had become accustomed to. In fact, you had to drive 3.5 hours each way to a mall out in Colorado. But Wyoming was the most wonderful, powerful experience of my life as well as my son's. I made the best friendships with women I had ever had. My son was not only making phenomenal grades, but he was appointed the vice president of the International Speech and Debate team at the college. To be honest, I didn't even recognize the man he too had become. So upon his college graduation, we sat down and we decided this little town in the middle of nowhere served its purpose. And now it's time to go back home. But we are going back home the people we now became. Oftentimes people, along with family, will ask me, Hayley, do you have any regrets for leaving all the priceless possessions and money behind, starting over in your late 40s? I never hesitate and say absolutely not, because my happiness and finding myself and living a true life is priceless. So I just want to say one thing to you here tonight. If you right now feel that you are trapped in a very unhappy or frustrating situation, life is not a dress rehearsal. You only have one shot at this, and go make yourself happy.